Rob Lowe. Tonight, I've got his startling reactions about playing the guy who prosecuted Casey Anthony. Now, Rob plays lead prosecutor Jeff Ashton in a brand new movie on Lifetime called Prosecuting Casey Anthony. It's going to debut this Saturday, January 19th. And tonight, he reveals to me what his reaction was to the shocking verdict. But wait, there's more. He's also telling me if he thinks that Casey did in fact kill her little 2-year-old girl, Kaylee. Here's our #1 newsmaker, the great Rob Lowe, with his Casey Anthony revelations.
I was shocked by the verdict. I mean, I remember where I was when it came out, and I'd followed the trial because I watch, headline news and all cable news pretty religiously. And when I had the opportunity to play the prosecutor, this guy, he devoted 30 years of his life for victims like little Kaylee. He was 12 for 12 in death penalty cases. He's the first guy ever to use DNA to get a conviction. This was the last case he took before retirement, and he lost it.
Obviously, there was a great deal of evidence that Jeff Ashton, who you played, presented to the jury. I want to take a look at you playing Jeff in the movie. Let's roll that.
The piece of carpet that we sent in from the trunk of her car, positive for fatty acids, consistent with human decomp. That nasty grease on the paper towel from the trunk of the car, chemically identical to adipocere, or grave wax produced by human decomp.
You really get off on all this polysyllabic dirty talk.
Can you handle one more?
Lay it on me, baby.
Chloroform.
Chloroform. I have to imagine you learned a great deal more about the case despite the fact that you watched so much of it, and about the family. What did you learn about the Anthony family that might have surprised you?
What's interesting, Jeff Ashton was a big fan of George Anthony. And George Anthony, who out of the blue was accused of doing terrible things to Casey to explain away the fact that Casey lied for 31 days about her daughter's disappearance without ever being a modicum of proof presented in court. What you realize is this was a circus. This movie, I think, is a really good look into, can you do a big, important trial justice when the whole world is watching? AJ, what people forget, this was the first trial done in the age of Twitter. It's the very first trial done in the age of Facebook that was this big. And I think that had a lot to do with the outcome. I think the country communicated immediately in a way that was not being communicated in the courtroom, and the two never, ever intersected.
And people, of course, weren't shy at all, getting out there and sharing really quite a lot of vitriol for Casey Anthony. I mean, the strong feelings were made so clear, and there have been reports that Casey herself is worried that this particular movie is actually going to spark renewed hate for her. So, Rob, if Casey does watch this movie, what would you hope that she takes away from it?
Geez, AJ, I've never been able to understand her. I don't know anything about her other than the evidence of the trial. And as I see it, I can't understand her. So I couldn't begin to answer that. There's nothing in the movie that isn't true. So I'm a big believer in personal responsibility.
Well, we also spoke when you did a movie about another notorious case, the Drew Peterson case, the former cop convicted of killing one of his wives. And now, of course, Rob, I know you know there's a trial going on in Phoenix, another notorious case, Jodi Arias, the woman accused of brutally murdering her boyfriend. It seems to me that story is also destined to become a movie. So I got to ask if you'd consider a role in that.
You know what? I think my next role is a total departure, my friend. I needed a break from all this heavy stuff. My next role is with Steven Soderbergh and Matt Damon and Michael Douglas in Liberace. And I promise you, if Drew Peterson didn't put me out of the business, this one will, because it is the most over-the-top, crazy, demented movie you've ever seen in your life. So I'm just giving you a little warning. This could be the end.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for preparing us. It's good that we have this time together then, Rob. It's great seeing you as always.
Thank you. You too.
I don't think we have to worry at all. Rob Lowe's Prosecuting Casey Anthony will premiere this Saturday, January 19th on Lifetime.